Ephesians 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So, welcome back to A Christian Woman's Journey. Today again is going to be a little bit of a different kind of video, and for very good reason. If you've been paying attention to the news, there are things that we have to talk about. What the heck is going on in our country? So I want to start by jumping back 2 days. We will also speak about the absolute tragedy with Charlie Kirk the other day. I want to go back a couple of days to a murder that finally got some attention. And I am talking about the subway stabbing of Iryna Zarutska. Please say her name. Please remember her name. Please understand her story. Please look at the still images of her in abject terror. Please look at the videos. This is a young lady who got on the train after a long day of work. It was the evening, she was by herself, and she had her back turned to a man who I believe is probably controlled by demons. And it would appear from the videos, a lot of information is still sketchy, but we know what happened to her. She was either stabbed in the neck or in the chest. She was actually stabbed multiple times. And immediately it's impossible to say what she was thinking, but she immediately turned up and looked into the face of her murderer. It was the last face, I think, that she probably saw. She put her head in her hands in abject terror. It's impossible to say if she really knew in those moments what had happened to her or what the outcome would be. But long story short, within minutes, I believe, she was gone. The video shows her going unconscious and collapsing very, very quickly within a matter of seconds. But, you know, the train has its own surveillance, and we can see many people on the car, none of whom helped her until it was far too late. She lost her life in just a tragic, senseless, gruesome way. I'm going to ask you to please pray for her family as they deal with this tragedy. And to just let this make you think. Think about the condition of our world. And, you know, I can tell you when I was younger that anyone who was criminally insane was put away into a mental hospital and kept from hurting people like this. Men protected women. You would not be on the subway alone, especially late at night after a long work shift, to fend for yourself, fend against evil. People would have helped. They no longer do that. And I want people to just pause and understand. You know, if you see this video, 1 second, seemingly everything is okay in her mind. And she goes from that second to the next second of just total devastation. That is how quickly life can change. Life can come to an end. I want you to think about that as you think about your own eternity and as you think about salvation. If you do not know the Lord, now is the time, today is the day to give your life to Christ. Please remember Iryna and her story. And again, condolences to her family. Please pray for the family. And please pray that our country can change and go back to protecting citizens the way that we should. Okay, now we need to talk about yesterday. You may or may not know who Charlie Kirk is, but by the end of this video, you will. To say that I was horrified yesterday is an understatement. I have certainly seen many Charlie Kirk videos. He was a Christian man and a conservative commentator. He was political, and a lot of people don't like that. But yesterday, he was speaking at a university, and he came out on stage, and the mood seemed light, and he was throwing everybody, it was either hats or t-shirts, and getting ready to begin and engage with the audience. And it was over with. His life was over with in a matter of minutes. Again, the videos are everywhere. They're graphic, they're gruesome. His family, his wife and 2 young daughters were in attendance. I am going to ask you to pray so hard for them. Offer them my condolences. I want you to understand again how quickly life can be over. He had been asked a question and he picked up the microphone to answer, and in an instant, he was hit in the neck with an assassin's bullet. I believe the person is still at large. They don't know who did this, or there may be many people behind it. Who knows? Because when you are political, you have a lot of power and the ability to control how we live in this nation, how policy is shaped, how people vote. And we have people in this country who don't want to hear what it is that Christians have to say. They don't want to hear conservatives. And they're very unapologetic about that. And unfortunately, we have seen even numerous people now today, if you go on X and on TikTok, people, just seemingly ordinary people, it's scary. Cheering, celebrating what happened, or even the more mild version of it where, well, I don't really agree with what happened, but I think people used to understand that in a free country, you don't have to agree with what someone else says. You can vehemently disagree with what they say. You have the right to share that. People certainly have the right to disagree with me. We don't have the right to hurt each other. We don't have the right to destroy one another. And when you see these people driven by demons, just reveling in this, I think for me in my life, that is unprecedented. I haven't seen that before. People would at least usually, if they were happy about something like this, they would cover it up. They'd have sense enough to cover it up. There's no shame or anything. So it's astonishing. It's concerning. I would not say that I always agreed with Charlie Kirk, but he is certainly the kind of person that I would admire, who was willing to get out there and respectfully share his opinion. Solid Christian man with a wife and children that he cared deeply for. He believed in this country and he wanted to protect this country. Now, again, you may disagree with how he thought we should do that, but that doesn't give anyone the right to bring him harm. I truly believe at this moment, he fought the good fight. He came before the Lord yesterday, and he's probably still hearing good and faithful servant. Well done, well done. His earthly mission is finished. He is in his home. In everyone's home if you're a Christian. He is in heaven with God. And I think we can rest in that, feel secure in that. This is not the time to cower. It's time to continue his legacy. To really not be afraid to speak and speak truth. Speak God's truth as we know it. You can't silence the word and will of God. In one of Paul's letters to Timothy, he tells us that God has not given us the spirit of fear. It's not time to cower. It's not time to be afraid. The more we do that, the less it works. The more they're going to come for us, okay? The more evil is going to show up at your door. We have to stand with Christ at a time like this. We can help bring about a great time of revival in this country, on this earth, but we have to be willing to be used mightily by God. We have to say, here I am, God, I am available. You have a mission for me. I'm not going to run scared. I'm not going to cower. I am going to fight the good fight. I am going to do what it is you put me here on this earth to do, which is to spread the gospel, to spread the good news, to speak about your goodness and your ways. That's what Charlie did. And as I say, his race may be over, but how about letting your race just begin if you've typically been very, very quiet? How about letting your race really continue? And I'm willing to step it up. I'm willing to keep pushing. You know, I'm getting old, guys. I'm going to sign off. Keep praying, keep speaking. Love and light, guys. To God be the glory. I will see you again really soon. Bye now.